Thanks for rejoining us. Lots more to get through, courtesy of James here. We'll go right round the houses, all the various sports. Your team will get a mention, I'm pretty sure, and if not, blame him and not me. John Beresford is here, and he's, well, he's a football pundit these days, and he talks a very good game. But then again...
played a bad one, yeah.
Unlike us, he also played a very good game. John
Absolutely.
Beresford, ex-Barnsley, Portsmouth and Newcastle. Portsmouth on a bit of resurgence at the moment, which is good. It's just starting to come up a little bit.
It is as well. I had a bit of a turbulent time there. I think I had 4 managers in like sort of 2.5 seasons. And it wasn't until Jim Smith took over, and it is a very passionate, especially from down south. I mean, I played at Southampton at the end of my career.
Gordon Watson was in touch, by the way. Sends his regards.
Right, yeah, I say Flash, yeah.
Flash, yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, Southampton's it didn't mean everything to the fans up there, you know. Like I was lucky enough, you know, Sheffield, you know, it's City, two clubs, and you can feel the passion. I was lucky. I went to Newcastle, which was kind of like extreme. Yeah. Portsmouth's like that. Southampton isn't. Right. It's a weird, different mentality. That's why you're just hoping that for Portsmouth, because the fans are so passionate, you just hope that they have a bit of success.
How many managers did you play under in York? And what did you ever think of becoming one?
No, I'd have been absolutely rubbish. Yeah, managers, it's in you, and you can see these certain attributes. They know how to manage. They know how to be ruthless. I was kind of more of, I used to describe myself as like a buffer. I'll put the cones out, have a bit of banter with the players. You know, I was one of them. You know, it's just cause I wanted to be liked. You know, I feel uncomfortable going, you dropped, you're rubbish, and I kind of going to go, it's not been your day today, I just wouldn't be ruthless enough.
And
I think it is. I think it's certain personalities suit certain jobs, and so it wasn't for me.
Sheffield Wednesday we spoke about before the break. We'll talk again about the Blades, but Wednesday it's a strange staccato kind of season where you get a good performance, think it's all right, and then you get a couple of really average. Well, average is putting it very, very mildly. These last couple of games, I saw the one on Saturday live and I saw the one last night, and frankly, this team of players need to be plugged into the national grid in the dressing room before they take the field, because they need jolting all the time. And to me, that's not professional on the part of experienced players. They're just so slow and laborious. What do you think of it?
Right.
Honestly,
well, I'm on it.
That's my rant over.
Yeah, that's your rant. Yeah, that's on your soapbox. But no, some of my mates and workmates, you know, watch Sheffield Wednesday regular. They are sort of season ticket holders. And they'll just say they just feel there's something not right there. You know, there's not a lot of harmony. There's no cohesion at the moment. They've got like, it's like you've got little fragments. You've got little couple players. You know, Bannon does all right for a little bit, and then, but there's no, like we were talking about the polar opposites, where you've got one team that's all pulling together. I just feel that there's it seems to be this is me from the outside, because I don't watch them that much.
Well, it's all of us from the outside.
It seems to be a bit of unrest in there.
Do you think so?
Yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah.
Well, I think maybe a state of mind somehow, and in the psyche of the team. Individually, they're all good players.
Yeah, but
they're very good players.
I've played in that. I mean, I was funny enough at Portsmouth. John Gregg was in charge, and we had a lot of good players. Yeah. But the way he managed, he upset so many people, and all of a sudden you got people doing what they want to do, and they're just playing in their own little world, you know, kind of saying. And then what happens is, if there's a player slightly having a bit of a bad time, if you're in a team where you're all sort of pulling together, you'll actually go, Al, you're all right, don't worry, come and sit here, keep it nice and simple. I'll do your running for a little bit, and he'll help you out. But when it's not that way, they go, all the best, and you don't get the options. And I've seen it. I've seen players just go, you're struggling, crowd are on your back, and they've gone, you deal with it.
Well, it seems to be safety football without individuals taking responsibility. The way it's just...
The problem as well is...
we know what they can do, though.
But also as well, it seems to... What I'm feeling I'm getting as well, they've done well the last couple of seasons, you know, with playoffs-wise. But then what's happened is, this season was, to me, it was kind of like, they must now succeed. And then what's happened is, the noisy neighbours have gone, hang on a bit, and now what happens with that is, the fans now are going, no, this can't be happening. You know, they've never had to worry about Sheffield United. All of a sudden now, we're going this way, and they're kind of going, well, hang on a bit. So the fans, what happens? It turns, and I'm gonna lie to you. When you're playing, and you're playing in front of a big crowd, and it doesn't just go quite right, and you hear that, you know, what is it, 30,000 go, I tell you what, have you got the balls then to give me the ball again? I'll actually make a difference.
Well, these players should have it.
They should, but I'm telling you now, I've seen good players, experienced players go, hang on a bit, I just need to get my touch back a little bit, and I need to ease my way out.
But it's like the whole picture with Wednesday, it seems to strike me a bit as well, because they've had the sort of the kit issues. They've had the fact that the derby was so early on in the season, and you know, that obviously that didn't go to plan for Sheffield Wednesday. You've got all these kind of things, and I think if you're a fan, you're then looking at United at the top of the table. The kit, I know it's only a small thing, but these things, they all kind of
they add up.
Well, saves in.
They add up
they
to
turn
a lot of
up, and there's an inept
pressure.
Performance, and then that's it. And then
how
they're
inept
going
is
to
it?
get on the back.
We know it should be better, but it is 5 games unbeaten and still in touch with the playoffs. That's the other side of the coin, and there is a long way to go.
That's where the manager's got to be pulling together and saying, by the way, come on, look, we haven't even played yet. We haven't even really got started. Look out, which we talk about in the Championship. That's what can happen. You know, you put 3 or 4 runs together, as in get 3 or 4 runs, which I could see them doing, but only if you get a bit of harmony with it. But it needs a spark.
If you got an 8-game winning streak in the position that Wednesday are in, and I know that it's easy for us to say 8-game winning streak, there you are, out of it, but it's not out of the realms of possibility. They got an 8-game winning streak, they're up there then.
At the moment, it doesn't look likely, but I can't see that.
I'm saying,
8 unbeaten, winning 4. Possible, but it needs. I think that it's become a bit stale because the same group of players have been together now for 3 seasons, and it needs a bit. It needs a little bit of a shake-up. Okay, talking about a spice-up, David Brooks to talk about, and your view on this outstanding young player, and also you've got to confess which Sheffield team you support, having been born here.
I'm a Blade. I was ball boy growing up and all that.
We knew it really. We did know it, but he's pretty fair and he's got.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, very fair. You couldn't tell. You couldn't have, been able to tell otherwise.
Right, what's going on?
Top man. Well, of course, Sheffield United, they'll be wanting to bounce back. Crazy game. You were there, Alan, weren't you, Tuesday night? Crazy game on Tuesday night. 5-4, of course, it finished to Fulham. But they played Birmingham on Saturday in the late kick-off. 2 points I want to make about that. Sheffield United, every game that they've lost this season, they've then followed it up with a win. So the good sort of reactionary, sort of bouncing back from those. And also, it was good to see in defeat positive attacking changes from Chris Wilder. I don't know how you saw it, but
absolutely
taking the defenders off, shaking it up, bringing someone back into defence, chucking strikers on.
He hardly finished with any defenders on the field, but then again, in a way, those decisions made themselves for him because the team fell behind. You know, at 2-2, they went 3-2 and 4-2. But what I've been more impressed with is the attacking changes he's made in games when they've been level.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes when they've been ahead, and you think yourself...
You hit the nail on the head. When they're level. Sheffield United don't draw.
No.
Yeah, well, they haven't. You don't want 30 games or something.
So this is what I'm saying. And this is me going back to Kevin Keegan days. Kevin Keegan says, draw too many games, like you say, it's not worth it.
No. Yeah.
Go for it. His belief was, even for away from home, do you know what? If it's level, we'd be 10, 15 minutes to go. And I played with so many managers go, oh, shut up sharp, take the point. No. Go for it. You'd be astonished how far it takes you.
There's that difference between 1 point and 3 points. I think he's starting to tap into something a little bit here, isn't he? There's a team in League One, there's Rochdale, and Rochdale have drawn something like eight of their fixtures this season. They're like 14th.
Sunderland.
Correct. Yes. They don't lose, but they don't get the points to get them up the table, and that's kind of what you need to do, isn't it?
Well, I think the biggest example of this for me this season was the game at Elland Road, Yorkshire Derby. You go to Leeds. I'm sure many supporters thinking ahead of time, point there is not going to be too bad. We'll maybe take that. And of course, although United had dominated the game, Leeds had come back and it was 1-1. What does he do? Attacking changes. Brooks comes on, wins the game. That to me, how many other managers in that scenario there at Elland Road, 15 minutes to go, would have said, tell you what, I'll take a point.
No, and that's why people are shouting. That's why he is becoming what he is. Because he's actually having, as I say, he's having the confidence in his own ability to say, by the way, I know the players, I know what I've got. And I say, bringing Brooks on, he's not going to come and just sit there and keep it nice. He's going to come on, and sometimes with youth, when you've got youth on your side and adrenaline and everything, wants to show, wants to prove. It was, like I say, it's clever. It's clever management.
Frustrating thing is just getting him in the game when he comes on, or Brooks himself getting into the game. You know, the other night when he came on, he thought, I think it was 3-2 when he came on. And you're thinking, made for him this, but couldn't get him in. I think he was playing down the right. Couldn't just get him in, play him in. But they did a couple of times, and it very nearly came.
Very dangerous, very dangerous indeed. Talking of draws, Sheffield Wednesday managed a draw, late draw. Made that trip home from Ipswich a little bit more pleasant last night.
Well done, Atinu, who couldn't have happened to a more dedicated professional. Eh?
Absolutely, certainly.
Lots of critics, but you can never criticise him for
I wonder if he'll feature
100% wholehearted.
I wonder if he'll feature on Saturday away at Reading. Yeah, certainly. A bit of magic from Big Atdy or Dave, whatever they call him.
Call him Big Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. Sheffield FC away at Kidsgrove on Saturday, wanting to bounce back from their loss last Saturday to Alvechurch. Bit of a break for the ladies, but their former captain, Carla Ward, a friend of the programme as well. She's in next week, Alan,
She might be, yeah. We've got her lined up for one of the future shows, Carla. Big appointment.
Yeah, absolutely. She signed for Sheffield United ladies. I think that sort of makes their intentions clear that they're wanting to get into Women's Super League. Certainly, they're making some good signings, good progress as well. Some statement of intent. Hallam out of the League Cup, though, in their division to play Glasshoughton on Saturday at Sandygate. So if you fancy some non-league football, as ever, we always encourage you to go and watch a bit of that. No matches in National 2 North Rugby, but Sheffield Tigers play Chester at home. Sheffield Rugby Club have another week off, lucky them, eh? Sheffield Steelers in ice hockey, they're at home on Sunday after a trip to Milton Keynes on Saturday. Coventry, the opponents, tickets left for a 5 p.m. tip-off at the arena. And something that might interest you a little bit here with this one, netball, Super League netball. I know you've covered that in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Probably found my forte. I was Sky's commentator on netball for 2 memorable, amazing seasons.
It's a great sport.
A great sport. I'd never seen it. I had to go to my daughter's school to sort of learn the ropes, as it were, and request permission to watch a training session.
Great sport.
I've never seen it before then.
It's very, very good, but we could actually be seeing a bit of it in Sheffield because a bid's been made to bring Super League netball all franchised off. Yeah. And it could be part of the sort of legacy Olympic Park, which is obviously a big kind of development, you know, just in that side of the city where Don Valley was. So it's going to be, hopefully, we could see a bit of Super League netball in Sheffield in the coming years. Matt Fitzpatrick, he's one shot off the lead in the Hong Kong Open. The season finished strangely last week in Dubai, and it started again this week. So well done to Matt on another great year. He's up to 30th in the world. And of course, can't mention sports in this city without mentioning the Ashes. I'm not sure if you were staying up late last night. Were you up late last night watching it?
I stayed till midnight. I saw that England had won the toss, and then I tossed in then.
All right, okay. It was brilliant. It was a great start for England. I think the scoreboard actually a little bit unfair, really. 196 for 4. They resume on later on, starting slightly earlier tonight as well, 11:30 English time due to the overs they lost for rain. So
I might still be up for some of that because I've got a few bevies lined up with some media colleagues.
Oh, very nice.
Tonight. Damien Johnson of this parish, you may know, has been a guest on the programme, and also Peter McNerney, who used to work for YTV's calendar. When I see him later, they can get the first drink in now that I've mentioned them both. Perfect,
bit of a plug for them, absolutely.
So, is that it?
That's everything from us,
That's everything. OK, James, thanks very much indeed. So then, as aforementioned, young Mr Brooks.
Yeah, proper player. And just when you look back, I think he was going to Chesterfield, weren't it, to go on loan?
That is a very sore point. Don't remind me of that. Do not remind me of that.
This reminds me, I think...
Your dad used to play for Chesterfield.
He did, actually, yeah. Proper team.
Also called John.
Yeah.
Just before my time.
But no, just going back to Brooks, because what happened was David Hurst had gone to watch his lad, George, and he'd seen him, and he said he had a tournament to die for, and I think got played at the tournament while he was out there.
Too long,
and it was just like, and I think at the time he was nowhere near the first team. I think Chris Wilder had sort of got his set up how he wanted the midfield, and I think he just threw him in at pre-season. And it was it kind of was a last throw of the dice of like, well, let me have a look at him then. I need to have another look because he's probably thinking not ready yet, inexperienced and this is what I was saying. And I can't remember which team they played in pre-season, and he just said he saw the spark, and he just went, "He'll do for me," and that's it. And from then on, He's never looked back. And there is defining moments in football, you know, as a player, you know, just playing at the right time with the right players and also the right management. Yeah, but as I say, he was always going to find his way because of the ability he's got. But I don't. Sorry to tell you, but I don't think it would be a good for him going to Chesterfield at this moment in time because as I said, when they're struggling down the bottom, the type of player he wants, he's not going to get the service he wants. He's not going to get, and all of a sudden he could have finished up coming back from there with his confidence shot. You know, and I've seen that. I've seen young lads go away and where you think that'd be a great move for him. And it doesn't always work out.
No,
but that 4-year contract as well. I mean, that's a real statement, isn't it?
Absolutely, and rightly so. And this is what I'm saying about two contrasts. You know, you've got a lad at Sheffield United who you're going, right, I've got a club that wants me, and you've got a lad over the other side who going, you don't want me.
Yeah. You can't help but compare and contrast.
So Sheffield United could have two players.
Oh no! He's really put the cat.
I didn't say which player. Just say you never know. You never know what might happen.
You'll get me shot.
I'm turning into Keegan now. I'd love it if that happened.
Yeah.
I would. I'd love it if that happened.
What you need to do is there's cameras there. You need to be doing that as well.
I shouldn't say.
You need to be doing a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, memorable stuff. You lost my train of thought in that one.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely. I was going to mention to you about the show the racism, the red card as well. And if I get my train of thought back to Sheffield United, I will do while you're answering this. You've worked for, well, Football Unites Racism Divides and Show the Racism, the red card, done a lot of work. Specifically, what form has that taken since you got involved?
It's moved on massively. You know, I mean, I remember, you look back in the days when you used to go to football and as I said, the abuse that was flying. If you go now, and I'd be astonished, but if there was one idiot did actually start an abuse, you'll find now, it's moved on that much. Somebody go, whoa, hang on a minute.
Yeah,
you'll actually see people now standing up.
Pointing them out.
Yeah, they'll just go, whoa, and they'll say to the steward, and this is what we're trying to explain. It's sort of, you know, just sometimes not getting into confrontation. It's just talking to people and say, excuse me, this is, you know. I always say to the kids as well, you know, when you hear somebody giving abuse, just say, why are you saying that? Usually they haven't got a clue. They say it because it's frustration or the unknown or whatever it is. So, yeah, all you try and do is educate. The younger you can get to them, we find that round about the 6-7 years of age is the best time to go into schools and sort of they're like sponges. They soak it up and they understand it. There's different little formats that they do. You know, this is me. They do we go into like a school and they put like a list down and there's 10 sort of like different scenarios and they'll say like a Somalian, a refugee, Olympic winner, a sportsman, and they write now, which of these people would you like to live next to? And then put me a list of, you know, would you like that, wouldn't like that, and everything else. And it's brilliant because you see the kids going, and then the kids are honest. They go, no, I wouldn't want to live next to that. And it's all the same answer. It's Mo Farah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, perfect.
And then, but when you ask them, would you like to live next to Mo?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just trying to find little triggers to sort of for people's understanding.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you know it's great. It's great when you see it makes a difference.
You refer to mob mentality, which is you know something most right-minded person loathe. People loathe, and you see a lot of mob mentality. It might just not be racism. It might be just abusive singing. Yeah. You know. But people are like you admitted you were at one time, and they go along like sheep with this.
That's what you do,
behaviour.
And you do become part of it, and it's totally wrong. And I think that there is a problem in football, and I mean, you look back from them horrible days in the late 70s, early 80s, and everything else, and you know we've moved on massively, you know, and it is. But then, as we go back to like speaking to the future king, and he actually knows that the problem is, that was a clang.
That was a clang, yeah.
And the thing of it is he knows that when he was talking not just about the team, he's on about the supporters going over to Russia. Yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah. You know, the right wing over there, the hooliganism over there is horrendous. And the problem with England and England fans is we have a mentality, we love to enjoy ourselves. The trouble is when alcohol kicks in, you then get a Tinder thing where your sort of conscious level of understanding certain scenarios, you don't think, let's walk away now. No, you're not in that. The mob mentality is then everyone wants to have a good time, and that's what they're wanting. So I'm just hoping that the world's looking at Russia, and I'm just hoping that they make sure that they get enough police presence to make sure that it doesn't escalate.
And Prince William, with great public spirit and consciousness, was clearly aware of that when he spoke to you.
I mean, he's wanted to. I mean, when after the event, it's easy. I would love to have asked him. So, what do you really think of FIFA after he's lost the World Cup? I'd love to know exactly because he will have known just the thing. Because when we were going for the bidding at the time, I think it was with Beckham and everything else. They must have thought we've got a great chance here. But then there must have been a time when he's realised we haven't got a chance because of all the bribes.
This business, it's shocking. Who does he support then?
Do you know what? I'd be interested in it.
That's your question, you see.
I would
you
say
missed that.
I should have done, but with it being, he always seems to say,
I think he's a Villa.
Wales.
I think he's a Villa fan.
I think he is. I've got a feeling. I think you're right.
Or is it Burnley? Because that's what David Cameron got mixed up. Was it? Am I a West Ham guy? But he's definitely a Villa fan.
Right,
definitely.
I think he's Villa. Yeah. So not an owl or a blade. Yeah.
Not yet.
Not.
I'm sure he'll be converted at some point. Yeah.
You're working on it. I'm not sure what my question follow-up was going to be on David Brooks, other than the fact that, I know what it was. January window, and already, and this is inevitable. There's nothing you can do to stop this because any scout worth his salt and any football manager and club worth, they know he's an outstanding talent. It's not a secret. So you're going to get big clubs linked with him. Already, Liverpool and Spurs have been linked with supposed £20 million bid and all this kind of thing. Sheffield United have said publicly they're committed to keeping him, but it's like anything else. Has every player got his price?
Absolutely.
What kind of figure do you think would make Sheffield United actually think? Whoop.
I think 10 mil. I think 10 million. Yeah, and if I was in that kind of club, I'd go, we'll pay 10 million, and you can keep him for another. Probably to the end of the season and maybe give him another year.
Would that be good for Sheffield United? Because is it important as a symbolic? Isn't it as important as a symbolic statement to say he's our most outstanding player of many outstanding players for years, and we are keeping him? Isn't that symbolically important?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I remember
we've turned this down.
Well, I was at Newcastle United when Andy Cole had scored 41 goals. We just come third, and we sell him to Manchester United. And I remember all the fans kicking off, going, we're not a selling club now. But Kevin Keegan at the time had already sort of thought, I think I've got somebody better, which was Les Ferdinand. That's where he was wanting to go. And I do remember actually turning up. I was at St James's Park that day when it all happened. And I remember the press guy, Alan Oliver, went to me and went, John, what's your thoughts? And I went, well, he ain't going to think twice about selling me if he's going to sell Andy Cole. That's what, to me, that triggered me to go, hang on a bit. With it happening, it gave the rest of the lads a lift. Well, hang on a bit. I want to be part of this.
I hope that 10 million bid or whatever it is doesn't arrive. But knowing how forward-thinking the Sheffield United manager is, he'll have covered all scenarios, I'm sure, in advance. Whatever. Our time has run out. I can't believe that, and I'm really disappointed. In fact, I'm absolutely pig sick that our time has run out because this has been such an entertaining
it's been great.
It has flown. So thank you, James.
Thank you, thank you, John. Thank you, Alan.
And thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And it's going to be repeated at 11. Strongly recommend if you missed. We'll be on my YouTube channel this evening. See you next week. Bye-bye. Bye.